Hello everyone, it's me, M-Thingy. Today we're going to be unleashing my inner Fifi fellow Kitty because we are going to be analyzing whether or not Detective Grimoire is a twink. We will be going off of what we do know about Grimoire and bringing in a little bit of stereotyping because unfortunately Detective Grimoire is fictional, so we can't really go into his personal life. However, we will be bringing in some common fandom material that I don't think the creators usually mind, assuming it is true, and also just because I want to be creative with this. We will be judging his Tangle Tower appearance because it's his most recent, but we will be referencing Secret of the Swamp every now and then. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into overanalyzing. Spoilers for both Secret of the Swamp and Tangle Tower. Obviously. Starting us off, we have the average way a twink is built. Twinks usually have slender bodies, little to no facial hair, and are young adults. It's obvious that Grimoire has a slender body looking at how thin he is. He takes the beanpole character type, which is the go-to body type if you want to make a twink character. Now, the body hair. As you can see, he does have facial hair, but we only know that he has facial hair. We can't look under his shirt to see if there's any hair there, even though I'd really like to. But what we do know from the part of his chest that is exposed, there's no hair there, which is typical for a man who is in his early 20s. Which brings us to our next point. The typical age of a twink is in his late teens to 20s. We know that Grimoire is not a teenager, otherwise he would not be a detective. However, from my perspective, judging by the sound of his voice, the lack of face wrinkles, and the way he acts, I'd say he's somewhere in his mid-20s, being 24 to 26. I'm unsure of a specific age, however, I do think he is somewhere in there. Of course, there are twinks who are older than this, but this is more of a personal opinion. Speaking of the way he acts, let's go to the next major factor. Next on our list is an average way a twink acts. The way twinks act are usually effeminate. They're usually more emotional and caring. But with Grimoire, he tries to hide this under his pretentious smatter, seen by this image. It is also worthy to note that he is described as dramatic. Usually that goes under the effeminate category because girls are dramatic. So that is already cleared out. Going to the interactions where he shows his more emotional side is where he interacts with Detective Hawkshaw. Usually when Hawkshaw insults him or puts him down in some sort of way, usually his face and the tone of his voice say it all, like in the following scenes.
I framed my law degree doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No. Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
314 cases solved. 314.
There's also that one interaction where Professor Pointer just straight up insults Grimoire.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you.
Another thing is, when you choose to give a reason when you confront Penny at the end of the game, 2 of the options are, I wanted to help Freya's friends, and justice for Freya. These are kind of a stretch because there is a chance he may not care that deeply, but for me, this isn't gonna go ignored. Extra note, since we brought up body language a couple sentences back, you can tell the way he poses is pretty expressive, full of personality, including the way he sits. I would like to also note that the specific sprite with an extra long finger is kind of giving yaoi hand syndrome. Just something to think about. The final and probably most important factor for a twink is the preference for men. Now, this is the most debatable section. This is also where I have to pull out fandom material, but nonetheless, I have made up what I can from this. First of all, if you scroll up far enough into the Tangle Tower Discord server chats, some people have said that Grimoire is bi. Others say that he's gay, but either way, they usually end up giving Grimoire a preference for men. Some even go so far to ship Grimoire with Fitzfellow or Officer James. I say that as if I'm literally not the only one who ships Detective Grimoire with Officer James. I personally am more of a Grimoire is gay headcanoner. But again, not everyone's gonna have the same headcanon as me. For those who have played Secret of the Swamp, I know what you're thinking. Jay, what about the interactions that Sally and Grimoire have during Secret of the Swamp? Well, firstly, you can mainly have a preference for the same gender, but you can also date the opposite if you're bi. And secondly, we don't know when this happened. This all could have probably happened a couple years ago. Maybe they even tried dating at one point, but they realized that they'd be better off as friends. And that's why they don't have any romantic interaction in Tangle Tower. Again, this is up for debate, so there's not really that much I can say. Now, for my unprofessional opinion, as if assigning characters as twinks or not is a profession, is Grimoire a twink? Yes.
Well, that is any of your business, but fuck you and fuck off. And leave me to my lotions. Up the floor just cracked. I believe I might find...